Y'all know my pedigree. In 30 years of TV, sports, and news, I covered almost every major sporting event, including a bunch of UGA games, even shot for the Mark Rick Show. The Kerry Kinsey Show is next. Welcome to the Kerry Kinsey Show. We're talking dogs with fellow 30-year TV sports and news anchor reporter Rich Lenz, an 82 UGA grad who was my colleague at Channel 3 in Savannah, Georgia, doing TV sports almost 40 years ago.
Savannah was good times, man. I had a great time there, Kerry. We had a nice little sports department, and I think we did good work, and it's always good to see you. And wow, I mean, that shirt's popping. I like it. I want one of those. Where'd you get that?
Wes and Willie, my wife, bought this for me before the annual Florida beatdown that we went to. It got a lot of compliments at the Georgia-Florida game. Now, that show never made air, but I'm glad it didn't, because since that dud the Dogs did in the ATL, the Tit Street Techies, Mike Bobo and Gunner made a liar out of both Rich and me. Right after the Texas game, Rich and I were singing the praises of our OC. What? And our quarterback. Oh, wow. Kirby had faith in two people that I didn't necessarily have faith in. One is Mike Bobo. You and I have done many shows on him.
Bobo is very, very disappointing in his play calling.
Rich Lenz and I asked the question, why does a top 10 NFL prospect and the best tight end in Georgia history have no receiving touchdowns? We're going to tell you why that's on Mike Bobo.
He's not even getting the ball. And they do some sort of flea flicker garbage to go downfield. It just, I mean, that's the one where I wanted to throw something at the television. That play. It's like...
Right. It's mind-boggling.
But even to a lesser extent is Gunner Stockton. Earlier in the year, I was watching film guy Brooks Austin.
I don't know why we're running already, buddy. We have made up our mind to run this football already.
And he showed how Gunner was not even seeing wide open receivers, that he might have left as much as 14 points on the field in some games.
I think there's 110 yards left on the tape.
What he has turned into compared to what he was,
the damn dig's right there,
is just mind-blowing.
I just don't know why we're not throwing that football.
And to a certain extent,
you're right there. Bah!
The evolution of Bobo, both of them have progressed in major ways, I think.
Me too. You and I have...
Free Carson! Free Carson! This is a vertical game, folks. And a lot of times we go horizontal.
We and so many others have been ripping Bobo, and I think in past years, deservedly so.
This is going to be one of my major criticisms of Mike Bobo and his play calling.
I think it was legitimate criticism, but this year, it just looks a lot better. There just seems to be a lot more variety to the play calling. There doesn't seem to be the redundancy in calls again and again and again that aren't working. And so I tip my hat to Bobo. I mean, I think he's had a very good year thus far as the coordinator. And I know you weren't that high on Gunner, and a lot of people weren't. They were like, did you see what he did last year in the playoffs? I was like, this is the first game he started. Let's give him, I texted you that. I said, let's give him a chance. Give Gunner a chance. And he's just gotten better and better.
You know that sound of a screeching car? Maybe the road runner trying not to fall off a cliff while chasing the coyote? Insert that here. Because if time had stopped right after the Tech game, you would have thought Gunner had regressed.
Stockton is unsure of himself.
He was behind on so many reads and throws.
Yeah, Gunner's got a big weakness. It's throwing over the middle.
Players wide open, like Branch and Gunner, not even seeing it.
Boom. he's open.
Meanwhile, Bobo did not call a great game. We've got numbers right here. Something I like saying as much as I did when I did TV sports in Louisville and covered the Kentucky Derby, and loved saying, we've got photos everywhere.
It's a photo finish. It's too close to call. It might be Victor Magpie.
All right, I regress, but Brooks saw it too.
Because we have 3 and they have 2.
Let's hope Bobo and Gunner return to midseason form. Rich and I believe the Tech game was an outlier. Another MVP performance by Gunner, and the DAWGS could be on their way to another Natty. I got to tell you a quick story. When I was at the Georgia game, we were in 345 end zone. For us, a different seat. A lot of Gators around us, and there was a guy that his name was Soto, and he took off. It got kind of hot. He took off his Gator stuff, and he had Ranger on there. And I said, "Oh wow, my brother was a Ranger and a retired colonel that fought in Afghanistan and Iraq." My brother, a West Pointer, retired Colonel Dan Kinsey, fought in Afghanistan and Iraq and Tikrit in 2007, 2008. He saw an IED go through armor and through his sergeant's chest right in front of him during a firefight. Went out to Oregon to that sergeant's funeral. Those are the heroes in this world, not a quarterback who just came in from getting his beauty sleep, who does his nails that say F-U, Utah. He doesn't deserve to cry. And then he started, bringing out his pictures of guys he had lost. And I was really trying to witness to him. And all of a sudden that Chauncey Bowen's touchdown happened, and I got a great shot of it. And I look back, and this good-sized man, he's about to cry. I mean, he really was welling up, and I was like, wow. This guy needs a good man hug right now to just say, you know what, this is just a football game, man. You know, what you went through, my brother, he was 101st Airborne, this man who saw a lot. What they went through is life, so it was just a human moment amidst a Florida game that wasn't going our way, and I was kind of complaining, I can't believe we're losing to these guys, I had to tell you that story because you don't get a chance to share human moments with a rival, during a Georgia-Florida game, but it was a good time.
That's a nice story. Yeah, that's great.
Now let's go into overtime with bonus material. Who had the worst car in college? Gunner's F-150 versus Chad Pennington's ride when he was at Marshall. And I say Carson Beck was at DGD while he was at Georgia.
He just fits that Georgia quarterback mold, our best ones. He just fits that mold, seems like so well. Just kind of the plucky, gritty kind of guy who's got, talent, but isn't a 5.5 star or even probably a 5-star. I mean, he might have been a 5-star coming out because he was a small school, had lots of numbers and all that. But, he's 6 foot tall, pretty good athlete, but he just seems to fit that gutsy Stetson Bennett kind of Georgia quarterback mold to me.
Yeah, and he reminds me of Chad Pennington that I covered when I did sports in Huntington, West Virginia, who I covered at the Heisman Trophy. And I wanted to talk to you about that because Chad drove an old Oldsmobile that had over 200,000 miles on it, like the F-150 that everybody talks about with Gunner. But,
right.
As far as the Heisman that year, Chad, we went up to New York City, got a free trip. We knew he was going to be finishing 5th, although he threw for 37 touchdowns. And the people in front of him that year, Ron Dane, really got that trophy for the years at Wisconsin. So the most valuable player that year to his team was Chad, I believe. Mike Vick was 3rd, and he didn't do much at Virginia Tech. But you take Gunner out of Georgia's offense, even with Pug in there with that cannon arm, and I don't think we win as many games as we have this year.
Yeah, no, I think he's the heart and the soul of the team. I think he's also reminiscent of his head coach in terms of personality and kind of in terms of the athlete that he was. The same thing with Kirby. What I mean is always overachieving. And you mentioned the 150. Somehow he does well with that old F-150 as opposed to the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I will say Carson Beck is getting murdered on social media, and I don't think it's rightfully so. You know, the kid waited his turn, and things didn't go his way. I mean, his last year, he couldn't get receivers. They couldn't catch a Cole.
Couldn't catch a ball.
Dropping passes. Almost 40 passes. Offensive line didn't block that well. Didn't have a running game. He was a good kid, but he's just getting destroyed on social media by Georgia fans. I think it's uncalled for.
Probably so. And if I was a little snarky there, so be it. It is what it is. We're here to just chat and have a good time.
We want to thank Rich for being on the Kerry Kinsey Show. And as always, go Dogs! We hope you'll subscribe to the channel. Comments and likes are very much appreciated. Would you partner with us, though, at thekerrykinseyshow.com? We have a lot of financial needs, pressing needs for this show to continue to keep going. Or write us at P.O. Box 6054, Jensen Beach, Florida 34957. Drop us a line and talk to me at thekerrykinseyshow.com. We're on YouTube, X, Rumble, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for watching The Kerry Kinsey Show. And remember, there's no hope for this world except in Jesus Christ. Jesus is Lord.
Deck the halls with boughs of